Hi guys, welcome to another video. We're talking quiet luxury, loud luxury, new money, old money. Seems to be a massive debate at the moment. We've seen Gwyneth Paltrow with her trial and her runway of quiet luxury. So I just thought I would add my two penneth. So let's get going. So let's start by actually defining the terms. So this is my take on it. So you can correct me if you disagree. However, this is my take on it. Quiet luxury is under the radar, neutral, not obviously designer, looks very expensive. So if you know, you know. So it might be those beautiful fabrics that are cashmeres and silks and beautiful leathers, all those really expensive, beautiful items. They're probably neutral, they're probably not so much patterned, they're quite plain. To some people, they're boring. They might be a little bit vanilla, those type of things. Now, examples of these types of brands, although I think you can have quiet and loud luxury even within the same brand, but we'll talk about that later. So the brands for me that tend to be purely quiet luxury are brands like The Row, Gabriella Hearst, Laura Piana, Bruno Cucinelli, those sort of brands they're not heavily logoed, they're not bright colours or patterns, they're not obviously from those brands, they're just beautiful fabrics and they are extortionately priced. If you come down a little level or two in the price front, other ones that I maybe would look into are Joseph and Theory, Max Mara, brands like that, maybe Nicole Fari, those brands that again are again beautiful quality, quite simple, plain designs. So that is what I class as quiet luxury. So obviously loud luxury is the reverse of that. It is obviously designer, it's obviously that particular brand. So we're talking loud monograms, logos, patterns, signature styles. So you're talking about Louis Vuitton monogram, you're talking about the Gucci GGs, the Chanel CCs that are emblazoned on things. Let's not talk about Balenciaga, but those type of brands where it is obviously, you can even see Dior. I've got this Dior blanket here, this throw, and that is the Dior oblique, obviously Dior. So those sort of brands that are, very, very loud, they're probably more colour involved. They are obviously not under the radar. And I suppose by design, if you're wearing more loud luxury, is it the case that you are wanting to be noticed? You want people to see that you are wearing Louis Vuitton or you are wearing Dior or Gucci or whatever it is, any of those brands. It can be a not quite as an expensive brand, a more contemporary brand, but something like Kento, it's emblazoned all over it. Off-White, it's emblazoned. You know what it is, even if you don't know the brand, because it's emblazoned on it. So does it mean that if you like or wear those types of items and pieces, does that mean that you want to be noticed? You want everyone to see, look, I can afford Louis Vuitton. Look at me in my beautiful t-shirt that costs £500. Is that what you're going for? Or do you just like the item? And is it always the case that if you are somebody who likes um, quiet luxury, does that mean you don't want any attention? Please don't look at me. I'm just wearing very plain, very boring, very simple lines. I don't want anybody to know what it is, but I know what it is. Is that always the case? And let's just quickly define old and new money. So from my point of view, old money is generational money. It has come down through the generations. It is usually people who have grown up with money, always had money. It's never been anything that's just all that they know. New money is more recently made. It might be that generation or the generation before, but it's generally, in my view, somebody who has made that money, come from somewhere where they didn't grow up with money, and they are now able to buy certain things that they wouldn't have done prior, or their parents wouldn't have been able to do prior. something like that. So what I thought was interesting is, does it always mean that somebody who is old money would always go for quiet luxury because they don't need to prove that they're wealthy, because everybody knows that they are? They're from that particular family, it's a well-known generational family, and yeah, they don't have to prove anything. So they're not going to go out and buy big logoed emblazoned jumpers because it's a bit crass to do that. Or is it? Is that just a complete and utter stereotype that actually old money would only buy beautifully tailored tweed jackets that the local tailor would make for them? There's no particular obvious designer at all. Is it always the case that they'll be wearing their wax jackets and their riding boots, and it's just a huge stereotype, isn't it? And is it always the case that somebody who is from new money would only ever want loud luxury because they want to prove to everybody that they've made something of themselves and I can afford this, look at me, I can afford this? So is it always that old wants no attention and new wants, lots of attention? So this is what I find quite interesting, because for me it isn't about old money, new money, loud luxury, quiet luxury. It's about who you are as a person and what you particularly like. And of course, we all are a product of our own environment, aren't we? And our upbringing and our values and everything else. However, two people can be brought up in the exact same environment and be completely different in their values and in their likes and dislikes. And that is how it should be. We are all individuals and we should all be allowed to be individuals. So yeah, how I look at it, let's look at my collection because that gives us a really good example. Hi guys, so I'm just editing and I just forgot to say something in my video, and it's that I've seen a bit of a shift in some of the trends. Now watch my video, I think it's whichever up there, on trends that I think are in at the moment and are coming, because I am seeing a bit of a shift. Now look at Bottega. They were very, very understated, quite quiet luxury for so many years under the radar, and then I think there came absolutely crazy colours and parakeet and wisteria and all those beautiful colours, and then they're going back now to more earthy, muted colours. And the lady in Bottega was telling me that they're trying to sort of phase out parakeet and they're trying to introduce travertine into I suppose to make their signature green, travertine and not parakeet anymore. So that just made me think, oh, okay, they're going a little bit more muted, which may or may not make it slightly quieter. I don't know. And also the re-emergence of brands like Ferragamo, the box leathers, those beautiful, again in that video I mentioned that, the beautiful sort of heritage, classic, timeless handbags that like my grandma used to wear, the beautiful structured little handbags that the Queen always used to have. So all those styles are coming back and they're very simple. There's no logos on anything. So yeah, are the brands actually going towards slightly quieter? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Back to the video. So if you've watched any of my videos at all, you will probably label me and class me as quiet luxury, but you'd also class me as new money. I assume that that's how you would label me. I don't come from money at all. Myself and my husband, we are not from wealthy backgrounds by any stretch of the imagination. So we certainly wouldn't be classed as old money. However, I think most of my collection probably is quiet luxury. I go for things that are quite plain and quite vanilla and quite neutral and classic and timeless, all those types of things. So for example, let's look at the absolutely beautiful Kelly. Now everybody in the luxury world anyway, most people know the Kelly because it is such a famous bag. However, it has a tiny little bit of Hermes here. If you know, you know. It's one of those things, and this is something we're going to talk about this later as well. Social media has made luxury so much more out there and available, and we're all a lot more aware of luxury because of social media. How many times have I seen a Kelly online? All the time. You can look at 100 videos in the luxury community, and there's Kellys everywhere. Lots of people have Kellys. It seems as if, I wouldn't say they're common, but it's not unusual to see them being unboxed. However, in my real life, how many times do I see a Kelly when I'm just walking down the street? Hardly ever. I don't know anybody else who has one. So I am just thinking, I don't think I do, other than obviously my friends in the luxury community who are my friends on YouTube. But my friendships at home and in my, I call it my real life rather than my YouTube life. I don't know anybody that has one. So that's just a point to note. However, most of my friends wouldn't know what this is. They wouldn't have a clue what this is. They assume, because they know me, they'll probably assume it's something expensive because they know I have a bit of a bag addiction. However, it doesn't scream designer. It just screams quality, luxury. So I would class Hermes as quite a quiet luxury brand. A lot of their ready to wear, it's not emblazoned. Yes, they have their H's on the belts and things like that, and maybe on the shoes. But again, it's more if you know, you know. I don't think it's overly loud. You might disagree with it. The H bit is the only bit that's slightly loud, I think. But generally, as a brand, I think Hermes is quite quiet. Now, I have quite a few different bags that are like this. I go for the neutrals. I know this is slightly out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I tend to go for the neutrals. And does that make me more of a quiet luxury person? However, I then saw this and couldn't, literally adore this bag. So this is the Chanel reissue mini in the graffiti. And this couldn't scream louder that it's Chanel, could it? It literally says it on the front in bright, like gold lettering. This could not be louder for me. It maybe could be louder if it was slightly different colour, maybe, or something like that. But to me, that is extremely loud. I absolutely love it. Also, any of the Louis Vuitton, the monogram, straight away you know that's Louis Vuitton. Most people, even if they don't follow luxury, they're not interested in luxury, will know that this is Louis Vuitton monogram. They just do. There's so many fakes around. There's so many. Oh, we've just seen it for years, haven't we? So in that essence, this is very loud luxury. However, a lot of my clothing, I would buy things like Joseph and Theory, the beautiful quality knitwear. I don't buy things like the Row. I just think they're extortionate. Maybe 2 or 3 thousand for a piece of knitwear, which to me is no. I might be wrong here, but it's not going to be much better quality than something like Joseph or Nicole Fari. So yeah, there's levels of branding, isn't there? However, a lot of my clothing is quite, again, neutral, plain. I don't wear a lot of patterns. I don't have a lot of things with logos and embellishments and things like that. I am quite understated and under the radar. I have a few pieces. I have a beautiful Louis Vuitton coat that has the LV monogram on the collar. It's not in your face. It's slightly in your face. So I see myself. I was thinking about this as I was planning this video, and I thought I'm actually very quiet luxury, but I turn the volume up sometimes. That's how I class myself. I'm not fully loud. I'm not, but I am new money, if you want to label me. So what does that mean? I can be somebody who, I like nice things. I like to save up my money and buy things that are nice quality, nice designs, the fit, all the rest of it. I enjoy all of that. But I'm from new money, so is that a contradiction? Well, to me, it's not. It just reflects my personality. I like nice things. I don't want to scream from the rooftops and have tons of attention. I don't want everybody looking at me, and in any way, I just don't. But it doesn't mean that I don't like nice things. So yes, I'd like to be able to wear this, but I don't want to be judged for wearing this, or I don't want anybody to notice that I'm wearing this. I'm wearing this because I like it, and that's it. So for me, yes, we are a product of our environment, and yes, you might find that in general, old money tends to stick with the same types of brands and the same types of things. However, we are just all people and we're allowed to wear and buy whatever we want. So, my main message with all of this is, why are we labeling anybody? Why does it matter if you're from a generational family with lots of money, and if you're not and you've made some money, or if you're not and you haven't made some money and you save up for everything? What does it matter? We are all just human and we all have our own life experiences and we all have our choices to make. So, my view is, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because I should be in a different category and I shouldn't be. Maybe I should be buying more of these and less of the understated things, because that's, if I buy a tweed jacket, does that mean I'm trying to look like I'm old money? No, I just might like a tweed jacket. It's as simple as that. So for me, it's a matter of, be who you are, buy what you want, don't label anybody else. And the more that you don't label anybody else, maybe it will seep through to everybody else that they shouldn't label you. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting debate, but I don't like when people are labelled. So let's just all buy what we want. And that's the end of the lesson today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you